Justin Trudeau did it again, or I guess rather didn't do it again. He was a no-show in the House of Commons, so he's just skipping out on doing his job. And well, not to worry, because Pierre was there to pick up the scraps. I mean, there was a lot going on. This is also from yesterday when Justin Trudeau was testifying in kangaroo court on foreign interference, which is a whole other thing, which was covered in other videos. We're not going to talk about that today. We're going to focus on the debates. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel, as well as once you are subscribed, I highly encourage you guys to smash that bell notification so you can actually be notified of upcoming videos. Censorship on YouTube, as you're already aware, is a major problem, especially when it comes to political content, which is why I've teamed up with a specific sponsor today that can help bypass some of this censorship. This video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. We've teamed up together and are willing to offer my audience 83% off using the code House of Canada, which can be found linked down in the description or the pinned comment below. There's no easy way of putting this. Justin Trudeau is trying to censor the internet and he's trying to implement a digital ID. And the only way that you can actually really protect yourself online is through a VPN. And my go-to VPN is Private Internet Access. Now, those who don't know what a VPN is, it acts as a way to encrypt your data, which means that all the big tech companies, including the government, can't access your information. Your information bounces around from IP address to IP address, and it doesn't just act as a way to protect yourself, but it's also a way to access content which you wouldn't regularly be able to get because of geolocation restrictions, such as Netflix or Disney. I know a lot of people in Canada want to access the American stuff, and the only real way to do that is with a VPN. And it is so user-friendly with Private Internet Access. You can have it on your phone, your tablet, all of your devices, your computers, etc. Just be sure to use House of Canada as your code, which should be linked down in the description or the pinned comment below to get yourself 83% off with Private Internet Access. Thank you, Private Internet Access, for sponsoring today's video.
Mr. Speaker, I'll never apologize for keeping housing costs low.
There you go, buddy.
But if you were hoping for some interest rate relief today as a mortgage holder, as someone with a small business loan or a line of credit, you got some bad news that the Prime Minister is not worth the cost. Rates are staying high long because, as the Governor of the Bank of Canada said, if government spending grows, then interest rates will have to stay high to combat the resulting inflation. Why won't the Prime Minister accept my common sense plan to fix the budget with a dollar-for-dollar law to bring down rates?
Oh yeah, they did the rate announcement today. Stayed at 5%.
Mr. Speaker, it's possible to be prudent fiscally and have strong social programs as well. That's exactly what our government does. With a AAA credit rating, with the lowest debt-to-GDP ratio in the G7, with historically low unemployment. At the same time, we have a national school food program on the table of $1 billion, Mr. Speaker, supports for childcare and early learning, as well as for renters and homeowners. That's what we do on this side of the House. Every day is a great day to fight for Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Every day is not a great day when you're living in a tent city, or when you've had your mortgage double, or when you are with the families 1 in 4 children who can't get enough food, and they put forward a food program that doesn't have any food. Right. Instead, what they've done is doubled the national debt and driven up interest rates. Today we learned that the Bank of Canada is unable to bring rates down because the Prime Minister continues to make massive multi-billion-dollar inflationary spending. Why won't he follow my common sense plan to bring down the deficit and the rates?
Instead of giving government-funded programs, make life affordable.
Speaker, wages are growing faster than inflation. Under the Conservatives, poverty was up 14.5%. When we replaced the Conservatives, we brought it down to 7.4%. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to invest in Canadians with the supports for affordable housing, for renters, for early learning and childcare, and because of our work, we will make life fairer for Canadians, unlike the Conservative leader who is here for himself.
Yeah, she had to read that last part off her script. It's so funny.
The Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, we're finding out today from the Bank of Canada that the Prime Minister is not worth the cost. In September, the bank governor said that if government spending were to grow, then interest rates would have to stay high. That was echoed by the former bank governor and incoming Liberal leader, Mark Carney, who indicated that he does not expect rates to fall quickly, and that is partly because of a lack of fiscal discipline. So if he won't listen to me, why won't he listen to his successor and understand that he's not worth the cost of high interest rates?
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Man, drop a W in the chat for Pierre.
Order.
He's the only Liberal that's got a dog in him. Let's see the W's in the chat for Pierre, folks. Let's go. Let's see the W's.
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, I hope the Conservative will listen this time because Canadians are watching at home. Mr. Speaker, we will take no lessons from the Conservative. On this side of the House, we have a plan to build more houses. We have a plan to build more prosperity in this country. We have a plan to create more jobs, Mr. Speaker. On the other side, they have slogans, Mr. Speaker. Canadians are smart. They understand that slogans don't build homes. They understand that slogans don't create jobs. They understand that slogans don't create prosperity. Mr. Speaker, every day is a good day to fight for Canadians. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, Liberals don't get nothing done. Nothing gets done. Hey, Pierre got the Conservatives to stand up. Look at that. Oh, man. Even though Trudeau's not there, it still seems like a good day to be there in person. Shit.
If this goes on, I'm certain that the honourable member for La Prairie will think that it's about him.
Yesterday, the Assembly of First Nations made it clear that this government is letting down Indigenous people. Right now, the Indigenous funding gap in infrastructure has risen to an astronomical $350 billion. That's not just a number on paper. That means Indigenous people are living in moldy homes. That means Indigenous people don't have access to clean drinking water. Why did this Liberal government turn their back on Indigenous people?
Yeah, Trudeau's just left Indigenous communities to dry.
Mr. Speaker, for decades and decades, Canada has underinvested in Indigenous communities, and this government is putting a stop to that. We've increased funding for housing on First Nations by 1,100%, Mr. Speaker, and while we know there is a long way to go, I want to thank the AFN for co-writing this report with us. It's very important to understand the size of the gap so that we can work even more quickly to close it together.
Tina from Orangeville just sent me a photo from the Orangeville Food Bank. There's no juice, there's no cereal, and there's almost no diapers. This is because the people who used to donate food are now lined up for food. This is actually Canada after 8 years of this corrupt, incompetent NDP Liberal government.
That's right.
Will the Prime Minister finally show he has even a modicum of compassion for Canadians, pass Conservative Bill C-234 that will take all carbon taxes off all farmers so Canadians can once again afford food?
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources and Energy.
It is important in this country, and certainly Canadians understand that we address the climate crisis that is facing us. There are significant costs that we are facing, including issues around wildfires as we move forward, if we do not address climate change. But it is also important that we do that in a manner that is affordable. 8 out of 10 Canadians get more money back from the carbon rebate than they pay in the price on pollution. If you are going to take it away, as the Leader of the Opposition would do, you are actually attacking the poorest members in our society. Shame on you.
I'm going to ask all members, please, to not take the floor until until the person who has the microphone has the opportunity to speak to all members, so we can hear the questions clearly, and we can also hear the answers clearly. The honourable member from Dufferin-Caledon.
The great Liberal lies. The budget will balance itself, and the rebate check is larger than the cost of the carbon tax. Everyone knows that is not actually what's happened. And you know who else has joined the carbon tax revolt? 6 premiers in this country who are calling for a carbon tax summit. Newfoundland and Labrador, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. Will this out-of-touch Prime Minister actually call this conference the Carbon Tax Summit? Or is he too busy hiding because he called the premiers liars?
So, colleagues, I'd like to remind all colleagues on all sides of the House that we must be very careful about using the word lies. Although it wasn't directed at an individual, it is really important that we
stupid parliamentary rules.
It can be disturbing and can disturb the affairs of the House. The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Look, on this side of the House, we actually believe in facts and we believe in science. The honourable member makes statements that actually have zero basis in fact. 200 economists in this country signed a letter last to 2 weeks ago saying that 8 out of 10 Canadians get more money back. The Parliamentary Budget Officer says that 8 out of 10 Canadians get money back. They can make up all of the things that they want to, but the facts are on our side. It is an issue that addresses affordability for Canadians, particularly those on modest incomes. It is a plan to address climate change. Those reckless, irresponsible Conservatives on the other side of the House should be ashamed.
Again, I'd like to remind members to please stay away from language that could be, that certainly it's getting closer and closer to unparliamentary.
I hope you enjoyed this clip. Please let me know down below in the comments if you agree with Pierre Poilievre. That's where we're going to end today's video. On your way out, I'd really like to encourage you guys to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, as well as thank Private Internet Access for sponsoring today's video. See you guys in the next one. Bye for now.